Hey, what was your name again? Susan. I'm Evan.
You've been arguing with us at our booth.
Yeah, it's Evan.
Well, at first it was very good. When I walked over and my friend was behind her, really going. And she just seemed not to believe anything she was being told. So I just kind of like stepped in and was like, "Here, Susan, look, it's on my phone. Here's mine."
No,
Look.
let's not say that.
Look.
All
She's
right.
like, "What do you think?"
Okay. So
She's like, "I'm in the car. Will you pick me up?" I was like, "Yeah,
Susan
no
Place.
problem. Here's my phone number. Text me. I'll figure it out." Like, sure. I know. It is.
I've seen this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then we've gone to so many dairies all over the country. The ones in the one in Miami City, everyone we go. Well, one time our girl went down. We're two men like that right there, and they're like 20 feet from the other one. And then the last time we went down the cab, and we begged them.
So you got so involved that you gave yourself the name Deacon Evan?
We got her good enough to stand up.
I don't know. I tried to give it.
I wish we let her.
I gave myself the name. I was like 5.
Yeah, hey man, we're proud. I think it's
been
great.
so long.
My 8-year-old is trying to feed. He loves being vegan, but at the same time, he doesn't. He thinks he's the only kid in the world who's vegan. So the fact that you chose that is pretty awesome. All right, cool. So it's at least working right now. I don't know if the audio is synced to go to it.
You got Instagram? I know.
Yeah, I know. And I like couldn't help myself. When you're like disrupted, and I couldn't help myself. I'm like, so usually they're for me, but today they're for fun, and they're like, yeah. And you
Yeah,
got
is that
like
bright or is that dark? Because you know the movie's got it's
telling
dark.
these little kids like, you're my artificial
Is it-
intelligence.
Thank you for that. That was clarified.
It's like crazy. Do you mind if we do that?
Of course.
I'm gonna try and finish my ear.
What are you writing?
I
My last No.
Before you get up, smile.
Oh gosh.
This is what I go by. This is like what everyone.
Your first name?
I'm such a dork.
And then that's one word, but I put it
No, I
down.
don't understand what that means.
We're all the
Yeah, sorry.
microphone now.
Oh,
Good night.
My hair looks super crazy right now. It's like so cute.
All right, are we ready?
We're ready. Come on, Evan.
All right.
Hello, everyone. Next up, we have 3 animal activist speakers. Four who will be discussing compassion in action, the movement for animal liberation. Who are the 4? I have stuff about 3 on here. Okay, the first activist presenter is a healthcare professional of over 30 years, is a patient advocate optimizing pain management without the use of opiates. Became vegan in 2009 and has been protesting ever since. Her focus is on animals and so-called entertainment, namely horse racing and rodeos. She's a current board member of Animal Protection and Rescue League, APRL.org. Please welcome Heather Wilson. Our second activist presenters are a creative husband and wife team. Oh, no, makes sense. Whose work bridges film, art, and conscious living. He is a seasoned filmmaker with over 17 years in the film and television industry, credited on AMC's The Walking Dead, and as director of features starring acclaimed talent such as Dean Cain, Superman, and Kevin Sorbo, Hercules. After years in the mainstream industry, he stepped away to pursue a deeper calling, storytelling rooted in compassion, healing, and hope. She is a former registered nurse who discovered her own path of healing through art and plant-based living. She now leads the art department on their creative projects, blending her eye for design with her passion for conscious expression. Together, they channel their shared vision into films and media that inspire empathy, sustainability, and spiritual connection. As vegan parents and land stewards of their 4th-generation homestead in Mount Dora, Florida, they are building a food forest while raising their children to embrace authenticity, kindness, and intentional living. Their home life and creative life are deeply intertwined, guided by the mission to honor the earth, protect vulnerable beings, including their beloved animals, and use storytelling as a bridge to awaken compassion. Together, they are developing new projects that amplify this ethos, where every frame is a vessel for healing, and every story opens the door to a more kind and loving humanity. Please welcome JC and Kami Conklin. Our third presenter is my mother and president of nonprofit Solutionary Species and one of the co-founders of Animal Activism Mentorship, a free program for anyone wanting to learn how to better advocate for animals. She is the East Coast campaign manager for $1 Million Vegan.
No, move on.
Okay, anyway, she's awesome.
You know
She
about
does
me.
a lot. She's my mother. She's been an activist for a long time, since she was 9 years old when she went vegetarian. She's been vegan for over 10 years. We went vegan on the same day, and she's empowered me to do so much. And now she's going to help empower all of you. Welcome, Shannon Blair. All
Happy to
right.
be here.
Who wants the mic first?
JC, we'll
Let's
start
see.
right
All right, here you go.
And should we have something streaming on the TV?
We did pull up the trailer for the movie, but it did go to sleep.
Okay.
So technology. There we go. Okay. So real fast, guys, just to give you a general idea. One day, Kami came to me crying and told me that something was happening with the bears, and we always try to create content that tries to make the world a better place. The reality is there's a lot of other things out there. Netflix has that covered. And we wanted to create stuff that brought you into a world that had a positive ripple effect, or at least planted a seed to make you think. And we decided that Mount Dora, Florida, who's ever been to Mount Dora, Florida? Beautiful, the town that time forgot. And the reality is there's so much potential for it and a lot of amazing people. We fell in love with it. Kami's from there originally. We're now in the 4th generation home, raising the kids, and we turned Mount Dora into Beartopia. And basically we hunted humans. So, this is the trailer, and we can talk more after. Is there sound?
Oh, is that remote handy?
I don't know.
If you want to pause it till he gets the sound up.
Because I can hear it, but I could narrate it for you if you want. No, just kidding.
Ed, is the remote handy?
This is for the slides today.
Like my TV remote. It's right there in front of the. Yeah, if we can. I don't know if that'll affect it. Let's see. I apologize. I'm so sorry.
No, it's so hot.
Oh, yeah.
Ted is blocking my. He's blocking where I'm trying
Oh,
to do the
that's
volume.
literally right with it.
No, it's fine. All right. 200.
All right. All right, let me hit play. It's hard to do this.
Mine was content based from
There we go. Okay.
Today we
There
stand
we go.
What are you guys eating?
Not the hut. What are we doing? Stealing that right
unprovoked attack from the protesters outside.
We bulldozed our homes. We call it progress.
This you're doing baiting, trapping, and bow. Very nice. True. Here you are, sir.
Why is everybody so excited? They're hunting moms.
This is not merely a hunt. This is history!
Please, we became some pests.
In the first 10 years of the hunt, we are incredibly excited to see the citizens of our great city of Hercules display their civic pride and commitment to the safety of all citizens. There's no cruelty.
I'm here to help you kill a mother in front of her own kids.
So that's what we're supposed to do, Kevin. By the book.
All it took in this little town to commit one sport. Was a few teachers.
No access is carried out by anyone who has a license issued by the Bear Soviet government.
She didn't get to choose anything. You took that away from her.
So the beautiful thing about that, guys, is that that was a movie that was created from her heart. And when the community started to hear about it, they said, how can we help? Some of them didn't even know it. As I was saying, calling in favors, saying, hey, I've got this movie, but this is the concept. Sign me up. I don't have to worry about being paid. The Payment Enough is creating this tool to help people see another perspective, right? We're not trying to force anything. We're just trying to say that what if you woke up and one day you had a target on your back? We don't think about that. We go through day in, day out, just dealing with what we know are our problems. But we don't know what we're doing for all the other people.
Yeah, for me, it was waking up and realizing that they're just as intelligent as we are. They feel the same love that we feel. They feel the same connection to their children that we feel. And they're going to go through the potential of just being like murdered for no other reason other than money. So we see a problem in our hearts, and we use our gifts and talents to address that problem. And that's why we're here today. We're using our gifts and talents to speak for the species that otherwise can't.
And believe it or not, our hopes are actually to be able, we've already had so many people say, what's next? What's next in the story? What's going on? You create a reality for people, and you have a responsibility to say, what type of reality are you creating? What type of ripple effect does it have? Well, after making this with nearly no budget, we were able to excite so many people who want to be in that reality. Guess what? It can be a real reality. It's not a fictitious situation. But nonetheless, we have decided that Chill Baby Productions, our production company, named after our 8-year-old son, is actually going to have a branch that creates content, movies, blockbuster style, that plants seeds and create opportunities to speak for the voiceless in a cinematic and entertaining way.
That was so amazing. That's like empathy training. Like the trailer alone. Wow, this is incredible. Well, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Heather. I'm going to go ahead and get a video up in the meantime. And I'm so grateful that this human being has moved to our state. She is incredible. She's going to tell you about herself and what she does.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. It's always an honor to use our voices to speak up for innocent animals. I got into activism in California right after I became vegan, January 1st, 2009. And like a lot of us, my foray into protests was with the circus. I did a lot of Ringling Brothers demonstrations, and then I started learning about rodeos, and I said, well, why don't we have the same turnouts at rodeos that we do at the circus? Rodeos are just as bad, if not worse. So I got really into protesting rodeos. Rodeo animals are livestock. They have no rights, and they literally strangle, hogtie, slam these animals to the ground, and they get sent to slaughter with no painkillers. So the rodeo came a really big focus. I also got really into protesting horse racing, trophy hunting, so lots of different actions. And then I moved here less than a year ago. And because activism it's what I do in my free time. It's how I spend my money. It's how I spend my energy and my passion. I love speaking up for animals. And when I was getting ready to move to Florida, I knew some people in South Florida, and I reached out to them. Every single person told me, you have to get in touch with Shannon Blair. He said, okay. So we got in contact, and I think the first day we met was at a vivisection protest in Gainesville. And but I was looking into what kind of campaigns are happening in North Florida, what needs our voice, what needs our attention. And there are a lot, I mean, there's always something that we can do to speak up for animals. And what really got my attention were the horse-drawn carriages. I really have a thing for horses. I mean, all animals, but horses in particular. These are iconic animals that are such a significant part of our history, how we settled our country. They were literally our transportation before we had cars. They fought alongside human-created conflicts, dying by the millions, and this is how we treat them. We beat them up on the racetrack and in rodeos and pulling carriages, and it's absolutely shameful. So the horse-drawn carriage campaign has been going on for a very long time, but we're doing something a little different now. I don't know what you'd call it, like the water drop torture technique. Like we're doing drop by drop, like every week we're a drop of water on someone's head. So we're doing a lot of different things for these animals. We will go to the hack line where they're lined up. We will take photos and videos when they're denied water or salt. They're supposed to have access to salt at all times when they're not working. We document when the carriages are not marked. We document, everything. We go to the stables. We call them the slums where they keep these animals. Horrific conditions. We put together a website. There's a QR code if anybody wants to scan it. There's lots of videos on there. And then we also go to City Hall and we make public comment. We've become their biggest nightmare. Then the carriage people started showing up at City Hall. So then you know you're making an impact. It's kind of fun. We're showing videos of them literally beating up horses, and there they are cringing in their seats. And then, of course, we also protest. We go to the hack line and we're loud and proud. At heart, I'm a street activist. I like to be loud. I just feel so natural. But we do a lot of different things. And we're also doing something that we call tourist outreach. On this QR code, I made a big poster as well. We have a list of all kinds of alternate activities that people can do to check out St. Augustine that does not involve animal cruelty. There's so many things that you can do, so many other ways that you can tour the city. There's just no need to enslave a poor horse to pull you around the busy streets. So we're doing lots of stuff, going to City Hall, protesting, documenting, reaching out to tourists, and it's all making an impact. Whenever we go to the hack line to protest, they have to move to get away from us, and this impacts their business. And if it's no longer sustainable for them to make money off of exploiting animals, that's great. Then they go out of business. All of these people, the commissioners, the mayor, they want to keep their jobs. They want to stay in office. They want to keep their positions. And when they hear that their constituents, people that we literally talk to on the streets, the overwhelming majority of people are opposed to these horse-drawn carriages. Like, guys, you want to stay elected? You want to keep your job? You might want to consider abolishing this outdated practice. So there are so many different ways to speak up for animals. If anybody wants to get a campaign going where they live, you can talk to any of us and we can help you get started. But there are three, and then I'll hand it off to Shannon because I could talk all day. But there are three things that I always tell people if you want to be an effective activist. One, know your campaign. Know your campaign inside and out. Know the industry standards, get evidence, get standards, get documentation. We have read the municipal code for these horse-drawn carriages. We know it inside and out. And it's literally built into the St. Augustine municipal code that these animals can go to slaughter when they're done. And we bring this up. Pretty much every time we go to City Hall, we remind the commissioners, you are allowing these horses to go to slaughter, so you don't love them. And then we'll read it verbatim from the municipal code. So know your campaign inside and out. To know the action. So if you're going to a protest, ask the organizer, what are we doing? Is it a vigil? Are we doing outreach? Are we protesting? Are we disrupting? Like, what is the flavor? What are we doing? Because the organizer will have a vision of what they want to happen. They have an idea of how they want the campaign to go. So always ask the organizer if you're not sure. And then the third thing, you want to know your rights. I'm from California, well, originally from New York, but all my protesting has been in California. You really, when you live on the West Coast, you really take your free speech for granted. You come here and it is very different. I probably get the cops called on me every time I protest, so I'm still learning. But I'm finally getting in touch with an attorney, and I need to really, really know my rights in Florida because they're definitely restricted. But, know your campaign, know your action, and know your rights. Those are the three things. And I'll pass it off to Shannon.
Amazing human being. All right, so I am going to show you a video in just a moment, hopefully, but I'll tell you a little bit about myself for a second. So currently, I am the plant-based community coordinator for Solid Rock Community School, which is in Tarpon Springs. It's a K-12 private school that is entirely plant-based, and our curriculum is incredible. Our founder and director has created what's called a CHI curriculum, which stands for Compassionate Humane Education, and it's woven into everything. We have a pre-veterinary program, and we have a culinary program and an animal sanctuary where the animals have all been rescued from different situations. I'm also the president of Solutionary Species. I'm a certified vegan lifestyle coach and educator, and I've been doing activism since the 90s when I first stopped eating animals. And that really ramped up when I found out the realities of the dairy and egg industries and started learning more, became vegan. And now I've been eating an animal, and this month makes 29 years. And I've been vegan over 10 years, and I can tell you, I've been doing research this whole time, but I'm still learning every single day. So I think it's been mentioned up here already, but I agree, it's extremely important that we educate ourselves. And no judgment, but just so I know who I'm speaking to, can you raise your hand if you're not vegan yet? And okay. And if you're already vegan, can you raise your hand? Can you put your hand down if you have never done activism, and only keep it up if you've done some form of activism? Okay. And I've done activism with basically everyone who has their hands up for the most part, which is awesome. I see 2 people that I haven't, but so I just wanted to know who my audience is, because my goal is to educate people so that if they're not vegan yet, they'll learn the information that makes them feel compelled to make that change. And if they're already vegan, I really want for them to, again, educate themselves so that they feel compelled to do something about it. About all the horrible ways that animals are being exploited and treated, because it's 2025. And we're an incredible species with amazing capabilities and talents, and I just can't believe that this is what we're doing. We've been fighting this bear hunt unsuccessfully right now because the FWC commissioners are hand-selected. They're not even elected like most of the others. And so that's unfortunate because they don't really care what 80+% of Floridians have said. They're land developers and trophy hunters, and so we're up against a lot. We've been fighting a slaughterhouse proposal in Jacksonville. This is the second time with the same people. So I was at a meeting about that the other day, and there's just so many different species of animals, because it's basically every single one that exists that we're exploiting, and there's not enough people who are working on something to help. So I appreciate everyone here that is doing anything. Even if you're not vegan yet, you're here, and I really appreciate that. So thank you. But I want to show you a video, and then, so my mission is to educate people, get them vegan, get them active, help them to learn skills so that they can be effective, bring those skills back home, teach more people, educate more people, and we can achieve a virtually vegan world much more quickly that way if we all help each other. So this video is from a tour that me and two friends organized with an organization that's now called Animal Activism Collective. At the time, it was called AAM. And so it was a 9-day tour, and the video is edited for those 9 days into about 5 minutes. But before it plays, I just want you to know that all the footage, and there's nothing too graphic in it, but just trigger warning, there are some animal transport trucks, and all the footage in this is from our tour. Someone with us filmed it, so nothing is like stock footage. And if anybody's uncomfortable with that, that's your warning. Yep.
Put the mic.
Oh, the mic.
Volume over there.
Why do we as humans fight over flesh? We can just eat flesh. It's such a simple change that we can make to prevent this torture, this murder.
We don't need to consume animals to survive and thrive. And it is a compassionate message. It extends the message of love and compassion to all living beings on the planet.
Do you have a message for President Greg Friendless? You have the power to make a change. You're in a position to actually impact the things that we're fighting for. It's a torture and it's not. This torture is for absolutely no reason. It's not research. It's not. It's not research. It's not. It is not animal testing. It's not. It is not successful. It's not. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We can prevent the next pandemic from stomping away we exploit animals. Your animals live lives of suffering and pain. They're capable
We walk around so ignorant. For children, all we're told is that meat is the only way. The animals are here for our pleasure. And it's not true.
Hi, thank you for watching it. So that was all different forms of nonviolent activism. Sorry, the speaker's jumping a little, so I can talk without it if it's better.
If we can't, it's hard to hear.
Okay, so I'm consider myself to be fiercely nonviolent in my action. Sometimes my tone or my words might not sound so kind. It was mentioned that you have goals with each campaign. And so depending on what the goal is, sometimes it might be a different tactic that might involve certain chants. If you're trying to get a company to drop fur or a restaurant to drop foie gras, you might do things like shaming type chants. But other times the goal is to outreach and to reach the general public and it's education. So it just depends, but there's a place for everyone. There's a place for you in the movement, and that's what that video was about, is that there's so many things we can do. Please just do something, because these animals, they can't be a part of the movement, and every other movement in the past that's been successful, the victims have become a part of it, and that's why it has success. So they are not being heard. They're behind closed doors most of the time. The violence has been normalized. We're all born into this world where it's woven into every single part of every single day. So we really need to do more empathy training. And like they said earlier, I mean, imagine if there was just one more species that was a little more capable than us. And imagine if then we would be in the zoo. Then we would be on the shelves in the grocery store. Then we would be getting used in all these different ways if they were as cruel as we were. But like I said earlier, with all the amazing abilities and capabilities that we have, this today is a great example of the path forward. And even if you're an electrician and you're really busy, or you're a plumber and you're super busy with work, and you think, well, there's nothing I can do. Maybe you could tell a sanctuary that if they have an electrical problem or a plumbing issue, that you'd be willing to give them a discount or help them out. Or maybe you could, 5% of profits or something you could offer and advertise that to your customers. And maybe your customers might say, hey, what's that Sanctuary of Kindred Spirits about? And you can tell them about the animals that are rescued there and share stories. My family and I, we do all different things. So we visit slaughterhouses and we bear witness to animals. I was at 11 slaughterhouses in the last 9 weeks. And I try to make sure that when I bring my kids to places that are sad, and it's important for adults too, that we go to happy places and we visit sanctuaries. And that's also activism. You can volunteer, and even if you're not volunteering and you're just there for a special event or to visit and take a tour, sharing their stories is activism, and sharing food and recipes. But the more we do, like when we know better, we do better, and we also have a responsibility to teach others what we've learned and help them. And if we could all at least just help the people that we love and care about, or if you want to do more, like we're trying to reach people we don't even know, that would expedite it so much more quickly. But I think we'll open it up to questions for everybody probably now, and that way I don't just talk forever. All right, there we go.
How have you had any effect in reaching into the school systems?
Okay, so the question is, has there been an effect with reaching the school system? So there's a lot of issues right now. There's subsidies and there's all these programs. The NSLP, the National School Lunch Program, currently won't give funding to a school unless they serve dairy. So, for example, the plant-based school that I work for, that's about 40 minutes from here in Tarpon Springs, we don't get government funding for the food at all. And unless we were willing to compromise and serve things that are causing animals to be exploited in horrific ways and that are also terrible for the children's health, and these children rely on us as adults. I mean, Canada removed dairy from their guidelines over 5 years ago, and then our country was up to do it, and you had Dotsie Bausch, an incredible Olympic athlete, and Dr. Milton Mills with their Switch for Good campaign, and they got so many white coats involved to let these government bodies know that this is bad for human health. We're not baby cows, so we don't need to be drinking a cow's lactation, and it's detrimental to our health. At least 65% of Americans are lactose intolerant, and probably a lot more because people don't know. They just think they have a tummy issue or have to go to the bathroom or whatever it is. But it's just that we're not baby cows. And so everything that our school is doing, we're trying to make replicable for other schools, but it's very different. It's difficult because of government funding. So until we get them on board, and unfortunately, because of money and lobbyists and subsidies, our country didn't drop dairy off the guidelines. It's embarrassing, isn't it?
What about educating the children, getting the information in there, even if you can't stop them?
Yeah, I mean, most of the students at our school, I would say, are not coming from plant-based or vegan families, and they're being served food. We have education for them, but also their families and the community are welcome to our events. We do food demos, and we have doctors come in, and we do all different things. And as the school's plant-based community coordinator, I'll meet with our families at their grocery store that they shop at and show them all the plant-based foods. And so our families and our staff who wasn't prior vegan already, many people are at least going more in the plant-based direction. And I think it's easier sometimes for people to start off plant-based for health because generally people are good, and it's hard to acknowledge that you're part of something so horrible.
It's kind of interesting. So when you live outside the idea of anything that is normal, obviously there's always pushback, no matter what it is. So you have to first have the confidence to say, I know there's something else going on here. There's other options. There are other ways. There's things happening that just don't. They don't resonate with me 100%, and that shouldn't make you a pariah. That shouldn't make anything change other than the fact that you're willing to step out and be someone who says, hey, there's something different here. And I will 100% say that my journey with veganism has been longer, it's been slower for me, and 100%, I'm only human. It's been harder for me because I like cheese. But the reality is that when you learn about the things that are happening, you start to see the value in what's being said. And you don't know what you don't know, right? So you have to be able to take that first step. And I think one of the most beautiful things is my wife is so amazing because she's not pushed it, but just made it part of the core values of our children's lives that me and my mother, who's over there sporting one of our shirts, who just moved to Florida, we were having a conversation this morning and how yesterday she gave my 4-year-old something, and the response was, "Is it vegan?" And it plants a seed to go, why can't it be that easy? Why does it have to be anything other than what it is? And then you see things like this, beautifully done, by the way, and you go, okay, well, now I need to educate myself because it's going to make me a better human no matter what. And then I can make the decision, not just continue to live with blinders on, focusing on the same role over and over and over again. Isn't familiarity breeds complacency? So.
Yeah, I agree. It's about having the courage to step outside our comfort and really be flexible to want to grow and to make that effort to grow.
Any more questions?
What was the name of the movie again?
It's called Bears.
Bears the Hunt. We're actually working on streaming distribution right now, so it'll be out pretty soon. But you can follow it at bearsthemovement.com and on Instagram, because it's not just about the movie; it's about planting a seed to try to help people see another perspective.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys. Is what do you think we can do as a community for the bear hunt that's going to take place?
So everybody please come to the rally on November 17th if you're able to. That's one big thing. Also, if you haven't already, sign the petitions, write to the governor. It might not do as much good, but write to the FWC commissioners anyway, because you can just copy and paste, right? And as many emails get sent to these government bodies, the better. They're all on record, but I'm going to pass it to them because they've been working really hard on this.
So we've been working with the Bears United, and Katrina is working on they're working on a lawsuit to stop that. I want to say it's next week that they go into court. It is the 17th. So hopefully they'll make some leeway and provide at least a pause button on it. But if not, ultimately it's finding the solution to reform how the FWC is run. It's run by unelected people that are land developers, and that's never going to make a beautiful future for our wildlife.
And they're trophy hunters as well.
So, yeah.
Right, and can you talk about the date of the bear hunt and stuff? We all need to be aware about what's going on.
I can say that. I have one more thing to say.
Okay, so another way you can help, because if things don't get stopped this time around, it's again planned for next year. So the last hunt interstate was in 2015. It was a bloodbath. They had like a certain amount that they were going to allow to be killed, but no tags were given out prior. So everybody was worried if they didn't kill quickly, they were going to miss their chance. And they were right. On day 2, they had to stop it. And they had killed so many lactating mothers, so many cubs that were illegally sized. A blind grandfather bear, and there were checkpoints, and that's the only reason that we knew about it, because there were activists who were there photographing, who were seeing these mothers who had milk coming out of their teats. And then in 2016, because of what happened the prior year, everybody was up in arms. That's when we found out about it and got involved when my son was very young. That was one of his first really where he got very involved in a campaign, and it was stopped that year. And everybody was so happy because this is an icon animal that everybody cares about, not just the vegans. So then now all of a sudden you hear there's going to be another hunt, and we're all like, well, what? But we're doing it differently this time. We're only going to give out 170 or 180 something tags, and we're going to make sure that we make it so that they're in these certain areas where the populations are fine. But it's all BS because the science was never finished being collected. We don't have a strong Florida black bear population. We have 7 fragmented populations. And when data's not done till 2027 to 2030, how can they make these recommendations even? It's really shameful that this has been allowed to get as far as it has, to the point where so many of us who are vegans and animal rights activists have actually bought hunting licenses, and that's what you can do to help. If you're a senior, you can get your hunting license for free, and it's good for like 25 years. If you're not a senior yet, it's like $17, about $21 after fees. And then this time around, they did a raffle. It was $5 a ticket. I bought 20 because I am an activist who's broke, but some people bought so many, and we know at least 40 of them were gotten by people who don't have a motivation to hurt a bear. So that's great. Oh, I didn't know that. How did you not message me?
I just got it. It's horrific. I mean, it was like a double-edged sword
Oh my
because you went
goodness.
to the mailbox hoping, my grandson's over there. You went to the mailbox and you open it up and it's horrific.
And there was how many bought? Like 180 something thousand, I think.
I think it was like 182,000. I think the number was correct.
Lucky lady. She needs to play some other lotteries too. Wow, that's awesome.
But it's horrible. You get like this package and you get like
This is Piggy Patty. She's an incredible activist. She's come on these tours with us too.
So basically, I just wanted to say that it's horrible. This is how the animals are so diminished down to nothing and like a product and seen as something instead of a being. So basically, we all are familiar with zip ties, correct? So when I went and I was told that, check your mailboxes for the winners, they'll be coming in this week, which was this week, you'll be getting your tag. And I was saying to myself, oh my God, I'm gonna be getting my tag soon. And when I went to the mailbox and I got it, it was kind of like a double-edged sword because a part of me was so excited because I knew, okay, here is the tag that I'm going to be able to save one bear. And it doesn't seem like much, guys, but to that one being, it means the world. So when you make a difference for one being, one sentient being, it means the world. So don't ever think you can't make a difference. And that is a ripple effect. So I opened it up and it's horrible. It comes with like a pamphlet that kind of tells you about the hunt and things that you do, what you need to do. But the other thing is too is that there's like a green, it's almost like a zip tie, and it gives you directions as to how to insert that into your murdered victim. Insert it into their fur, and then you zip tie it, and that's how you send them a picture, and then you have to report your bear hunt. So it's just horrible. So we use zip ties, all the time. We use them in activism and stuff like that. And then to think that this is going to be going on a murdered being, and this is what these guys are so happy to do. But at the same time, I know that, there was, I think, 48 of us so far that we know of that are going to be saving 48 beautiful sentient beings, So what my point is that, next year, if this does happen again, please do what you can, share out with your friends. It was horrific to have to get a hunting license, but at the same time, again, you knew that there was a good possibility that not only could you be chosen in a lottery to win a bear tag to save another being, but also when you do have a hunting license, now you sort of are a shareholder. So now you will be privy to a lot of information first, before everybody else, before the public, and you will also be able to be a big part of decisions that are made because now they have to listen to you. So that's just my 2 cents.
No,
Everybody can make a difference.
Yeah.
There's one last thing to answer that question, and it's not super deep, and it's we overcomplicate things in life. We have a tendency to do that. It's the idea that we live and we do what we do every day, and these animals become the environment in which you live. They don't get an opportunity to be living here as well, right? It's not an as well. It's not a part of. It's not a shared earth or planet. It's a, hey, you're here. Oh, that squirrel went in my backyard. Let me shoot it. Oh, hey, let me eat whatever this is, right? And we don't think that way. And if you truly want to make a difference with not just the bears or the chickens or the cows or literally any creatures, even ourselves, you have to stop and realize that they're here just as much as we are. And every moment you have an opportunity to say, hey, I'm sharing this existence with them. And because of that, therefore, you're already being an activist. You're already helping. And at least that's what I believe. Yeah.
Also, about the bear hunt, just to rally up real quick. So in 2015, some changes this time around. They've added the use of dogs. They're training them this year, and then next year they're going to be allowed to go actually be a part of the killing. Then they added baiting and feeding stations, which actually are a contributor to chronic wasting disease with deer populations. They also added the use of bows and arrows, and to top it all off, they removed the checkpoints.
If the movie is not just some Joe Schmo concept with these ideas. When we learned about this stuff, we put it in there because we wanted people to realize how ridiculous this is. If you heard in the trailer, the little boy who was standing there giving out the human hunt was saying that it was baiting, trapping, and bows. He got excited. That's the perspective, you know what I mean? So we just need to help that, and we have to knowledge ourselves up.
questions? Okay, well, until somebody has a question, I just want to give a really easy form of activism that I thought of, and then I'm going to pass it to you no matter what. So you can go into the restaurants that you might already go to. If you're not someone who will only go to restaurants that are 100% vegan, and you'll go to restaurants if they have options. It's great to be really pleasant and not be rude or make things cumbersome, and tell them how great the things you enjoy are. If there's something you don't love, let them know in a really kind way. And it's really nice too if you tell them you don't need your money back. They might give it to you anyway, but make sure they understand that you're trying to help them and that you're not just trying to be annoying. If you feel the need to complain because you feel like you don't want anyone else to try that vegan food. But if it's someplace where you go all the time and you know the staff or the management, you can help them to tweak items on the menu and add more vegan options. You can offer to help promote in your community. Things like this are an easy way to start that are completely legal. You don't have to worry about anybody even misconstruing it as something that might have, problems. It's all positive, and it'll help make veganism more normalized and more accessible. And that's like a really easy thing that anybody could do. And it's so important that when we represent ourselves as vegans and in certain situations especially, that we don't make things difficult, annoying, and we don't treat people horribly. Unless we're doing like a really like pressure campaign with Target, like that might be different. But as human beings, like just if you're here, you're not vegan yet, or for anybody who's not vegan yet, my belief is that they really truly don't get it yet. If they did, they'd already be vegan. So try to have empathy for people and try to become friends with them and offer to show them the things that you know and help teach them. So I want to ask Heather a question. So you were going to go out there no matter what, no matter who was joining you, no matter like what was going on. You have your babies at home, your doggies that are your life and your world, and I know that you're very careful to make sure that they get all the attention they need, but every other bit you dedicate to these animals. What makes you so passionate?
I think what's so important when I talk to people about about eating a vegan diet, it's not just eating vegan, it's about living vegan. Think about the victims, think about the animals. A lot of people just go about their day and because I guess violence and cruelty, the unthinkable, is just so normalized, and we don't really think twice about it. Most of us here, I can speak for myself, I was not born vegan. I was vegetarian for many years, and then I started learning about eggs and dairy. I said, oh my God, if I'm doing this for the animals, I can't eat any animal products. And a lot of people, when you're a new vegan, it can be intimidating. You might feel like you're in the minority. Be proud. Be proud of what you're eating. Be proud of your food choices. Be proud that you are true to your ethics and your morals. Don't ever, ever be ashamed for doing the right thing. I work in healthcare. I have to be careful because if I talk too much to my patients, they get annoyed at me. But a lot of times I can do just a quick interaction with my patient before I put them to sleep. And I'll tell them, you know what, you want to lower your cholesterol, lower your blood pressure without medications. Right now you're not taking any medicine. Do you really want to be on drugs the rest of your life? Oh no. Well, you need to change what you're eating. And I don't candy coat it. I'm like, you know what? You got to go plant-based for a whole month, no cheating. Your palate will change. Give yourself time to adjust, be patient. Otherwise, you're looking at taking drugs. You're taking medication. Oh, I don't want that. Well, and so I'm very firm with them. And then as I'm putting them to sleep, I do anesthesia. I plant suggestions in their ears when they're sleeping. But But I will literally photocopy their blood work and I highlight it. I'm like, here you go. I'm like, go plant-based for a whole month. And then I give them websites. I make it about the animals, but I also, I have to make it about the health because I'm at work. But I will add websites. I'll handwrite websites on their blood work, hand it to them. I'm like, you got to eat plant-based for a month. No cheating. Get your blood work rechecked. Let's see if we can fix these numbers without taking any medication, and follow up with your doctor. And then, I never get to see these people again because typically I have like a very short relationship with them. It's like, we call it one night stand medicine. I put you to sleep, you wake up, I never see you again. But we get to plant seeds, and that's something else that we do when we do activism. We try to plant seeds. And sometimes, the seeds will bounce off of concrete. We're like, all right, well, that'll never happen. But most of the time, we don't get to see the fruits of our labor, and we cannot be discouraged. So you never know when you're throwing out those seeds, which brain out there is going to be fertile soil. You have no idea, and it's not up to you to know. You just have to be out there planting those seeds. And then you never know. Like one time we were doing a rodeo, a big rodeo in California, and it was like a combined rodeo, craft fair, flea market, hundreds and hundreds of people, and it was literally me and like 2 other people. We were very, very outnumbered. The following day, this woman comes up to us with her kids. I'm like, oh God, here we go. And she goes, you know what? Last night I was so annoyed at you for being out here. But we went inside and we saw what they did to those animals. And you're right. We can't thank you enough. So it's like those little interactions, and those happen all the time. And if we weren't there the next day, we wouldn't have known. So for all of you that are eating a plant-based diet, vegan diet, whatever you want to call it, for whatever reason you're doing it, but you always have to go back to the animals, even if you're doing it for health or religion or whatever. It's about the animals. Think about those animals, and don't ever be ashamed for what you're eating. I know, being vegan around this time of year can be very difficult. Thanksgiving, Christmas, it's a horror show. I hate it. I don't like the holidays. Because my family, I have one family member who's vegan. The rest of my family will never change. And I don't want to sit down at the table with a carcass in front of me. I don't. I'd rather not see them. And I know that's awful. But this is a very difficult time of the year for vegans. But don't, just stay the course, and don't ever be ashamed of why you're eating the way you're eating, because you're being ethical, moral, and you're doing the right thing. So thank all of you for being here, and thank you again for the invitation.
Awesome. I think we're about at time, but everyone's reached in different ways, and even the same person will be reached in different ways depending on the day, what's going on in their life and their mood. And the seed planting is, I've been depressed, and I did activism in the same place 5 times in a row by myself with different signs. And I keep running into some of the same people, and some of the people that have argued with me so intensely, the next week, they're like, yeah, I've been thinking about it. And people have to sit on things, so it's true. Don't get discouraged.
And your passion is contagious. The reality is that you never know who's your excitement for being who you are and genuine to caring about other creatures on this planet could spark something that you don't even know. We had one guy who had a big role on the film, and by the end of it, he was actually interviewed on local TV talking about the bear hunt solely because of the passion he had for the experience of the film. So you can never really tell, guys. It's every little thing.
Thank you all for being here. We'll see you next year, Tampa Bay Veg Fest 2026.
Thank you guys. I know, 3 of you made, well, you're always trapped. So, you're here. But thank you for making it here and building our tribe. We are a small tribe. We do need to come together in person to connect because it's hard, and the holidays are hard. And we're always doing the Tampa Bay Veg Fest right before Thanksgiving. So thank you all for being here, and that I have new family members in the tribe. And everyone, thanks for coming to Veg Fest. See you next year.
Thanksgiving, you can go to Kindred Spirit Sanctuary. It's about an hour and a half away from here. They do a Thanksgiving potluck every single year. They've been going there
I did that
consistently for
when I tried to
6
drink